Catherine Yancey, Christian Reporters, here with Justice Harold Melton, Georgia Supreme Court. We're here talking about commercially exploited women and children and what's going on in Georgia with those numbers.
They're skyrocketing, of course, but what I learned today was that there are a number of groups, churches, civic organizations that are on the ground, not just talking to the young ladies and women who are exploited, but living with them and getting them on their feet and showing them life that can be lived and giving them hope and giving them vision and that real practical ways of putting them back in their homes and with their families.
Are there cases or legislation making it to the Supreme Court now that is going to impact the halting of these numbers?
There might be some legislation. What we see is a lot of dysfunction and hurt that leads to a woman actually being out on the streets where they're sexually exploited shows itself in cases in ways that we may not think. So it may show up in a murder case, it may show up in a drug case, it may show up in a domestic violence case, but trafficking could be an underlying theme in any of those cases.
And you being a father yourself, what are the things that we can put into our children, girls in particular, to kind of keep them away from the streets and from that life that follows?
Well, what I tell my girls and young ladies all the time is, you are not toys, you are women. What I tell young men is, you are not boys. You don't play with toys, and you don't play with girls like they're toys. You grow up to be a man, which means handling responsibility. You don't love a woman unless you can have responsibility, take responsibility to provide and protect and care for. And I tell the women, if you love a man, you will do the same for him. So it's a love relationship where you're more than just playing around with each other. You're actually caring and looking out for one another.
Yes, and in society we can have each one reach one, each one teach one. And what kind of things are you reaching out and teaching our youth as opposed to the things that are readily available, such as the television and radio that you mentioned, that can keep us from going down those roads?
First and foremost, love the Lord with all your heart and soul and mind. Second, love your neighbor as yourself. That covers everything, right?
Yes.
And then after that, just growing up, keeping your mind clear, of fighting the noise and being able to know the difference between noise and truth, and being watchful for what goes into your heart and your spirit.
Thank you so much, Justice Harold Melton, Georgia Supreme Court. How can we follow you?
You can go to my website. I don't have a website.
We can talk to your children on it.
My children, yeah.
No, but how can we follow the issues that are dear to your heart?
Well, I'm real involved with a group called Young Life. They do international ministries to high school students. I love the work that they're doing, including with teenage mothers, children with disabilities, kids who aren't typically reached. Their messages and goal is to reach every child, every young teen. I'm involved with the teens at my church. And, of course, if you're interested in our court business, you can always track us on our court website as well.
Thanks so much, Justice Harold Melton, Catherine Yancey, Christian Reporters. Have a great day.